We believe in a future where people can live and work comfortably in hot weather without contributing to further climate change.
In a future that has sustainable cooling implemented, we wouldn't be as worried as today about heat waves. We would wake up knowing that there's strategies and tactics and solutions in place. You would walk under the shade of trees, you would see water bodies.
Urban vegetation is also very useful because it actually reduces temperature. So then what we have is a city that is not heating up because of all the concrete around it.
You would see materials and buildings that are all cooling down in a passive way.
Better insulation, reflective materials on the roof, good ventilation, shading, orientation of the building. All of these different things that can keep the environment within the building really comfortable.
Probably one of the things that we're moving towards is more to individual thermal comfort rather than a whole building.
Providing the comfort so that she can be as productive as she can at work.
Productivity is a really big one. It's often impossible for people to work at the level that they would normally do when it's extremely hot. Being able to be comfortable in extreme heat is a challenge, but it is possible to adapt.
At the moment, we rely on one technology, which is air conditioners. It's an off-the-shelf technology that has provided comfort to so many people around the world, but it has a vicious cycle because the more air conditioners we buy and make work, the more power we consume.
So we're stuck in this vicious cycle where you're going to the air conditioner as a way to provide you for short-term comfort. But actually what it's doing is it's heating up the planet more in terms of its greenhouse gas emissions, which is leading to more extreme heat. It's also heating up your urban environment more locally. So the Oxford Martin program on the future of cooling has the goal of understanding and shaping the future of global cooling demand and to move cooling as a system towards sustainability.
Because of climate change, heat waves are going to be more extreme and more frequent.
It's going to be 1 or 2 heat waves next year. The year after it might be 4. The year after it's going to be 10. So it's only going to get worse.
And when you have extremely hot days and you have that kind of shock to the system, what happens is that many dimensions of individuals' lives or of societies get hit. And what we do is that we recognize that cooling is not just an issue that requires one disciplinary lens. It actually requires us thinking across multiple dimensions.
My role in the Oxford Martin Future of Cooling program is to understand the impact of change in temperature, that is how it's affecting health. Things like, for example, your increased risk of having some kind of cardiac event, things like a heart attack. Worryingly, it increases things like suicides. It increases things like attacks, like homicides as well.
The UK issued its first ever extreme heat warning last year in 2022. And I think that's a real moment for a country in a very temperate climate to think about the fact that this is an issue that we have to grapple with.
We need to have local and national heat resilience plans in place.
We need to think more constructively of ways of how we design buildings, how we design our cities, and also how we design, for example, things like our healthcare system to deal with those type of issues as well.
People can find out more about the Future of Cooling program through our Twitter account,
which is @OxfordCooling.
Subscribing to our newsletter, and through our website at the Oxford Martin School website.